What's up, everybody, and welcome to Badurday Reviews. Today we're looking at the 1990 Italian Karate Kid cash-in, Karate Rock, or as it's alternately titled, The Kid with Iron Hands, directed by Larry Ludman, starring no karate nor rock, plenty of cars driving aimlessly, and Antonio Sabato Jr.'s longing glances. Our story opens on the mean streets of Oregon as some cops are transporting our hero, Kevin Foster, in their squad car. We're quickly introduced to the town's local bully Jeff and his gang of ne'er-do-wells. After some light sexual assault...
Something. Well, that's friendly at least. No, you don't have to tickle me. Besides, we're not alone.
Jeff gets busted for coke.
God damn it. Little bitch.
Jeff and his gang are let off with a warning and make sure to laugh off their white privilege as they drive away.
Hey, that was great. I love the bit about the Vietnam War hero.
Yeah, I made it up on the spot. With fools like that, Vietnam always works. It's easy, baby.
Hey, did you see that boy in the police car? He looks so guilty.
Yeah, I suppose he lifted a couple of oranges down at the supermarket.
After some more exciting driving scenes, we learn that Kevin is the son of the police officer who's concerned with his delinquent behavior.
Hey, I'm talking about grass and liquor and contraceptives. The daughter of his high school principal, I had to put a stop to it.
He's arranged to scare Kevin straight by making him move from Oakland, California to Bend, Oregon for a semester. We're introduced to Mr. Miyagi, who Kevin will be staying with. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not Mr. Miyagi. This old man is...
You don't have to call me sir. No one calls me that. Call me Billy. I'm just a poor cop on a pension. My name is Billy. Now, you remember that.
Okay, sir. I'm Billy.
On his way to school, Kevin bumps into a skateboarding girl named Connie. She lives next door to Billy and totally has the hots for Kevin. She invites Kevin to the rock concert, which she describes as being a great disco.
Well, a rock competition.
Well, if I have nothing better to do, I'll go.
It's a great disco. You'll like it. Really something special.
Okay. We go to the local teen hangout, which has every flavor of icy on tap. We're told there's going to be a rock competition, which is apparently a no-rules dance contest.
Please listen to what I have to tell you. The rock competition's about to begin. No single dancing is allowed. Real students can only compete provided they have it.
Provided they have a partner.
There are no other rules. The dancing is freestyle, so one couple must not interfere with another, or they'll be disqualified.
Jeff takes his girlfriend Kim outside for some regular sexual assault, complete with his best impression of the Karate Kid's Johnny.
I said I don't want to, Jeff. That's enough.
I'll say when it's enough.
Kim runs away from Jeff, and to get back at him, she decides to enter the dance competition with Kevin. Kevin and Kim obviously win the dance competition, and Jeff shows his displeasure with another coke assault.
Here's to you.
Though Kevin quickly gets back at him.
I'll beat it.
Kevin goes to the local Taekwondo dojo where he promptly gets his ass kicked by Jeff. While nursing his wounds, Kevin finds that Billy has a closet full of secret karate championships. Kevin tries to get back with Kim, but she claims she won't date someone who makes her look like a fool by getting their ass totally kicked.
Do you want to go out tonight?
And see Jeff bash your face in again? No thanks. I don't want to look like a fool the way I did yesterday afternoon at the gym.
Where was I?
While at school, Kevin notices a sign for something called Super Racing, which apparently Jeff always wins.
There's nobody gonna beat Jeff.
I've never seen one of those races.
Come on Sunday then.
Despite not even owning a car, Kevin believes he can win the race and show up Jeff, so he borrows his friend Mortimer's Jeep to race with. We are then treated to the local high school kids' totally normal off-road race. The racers take off and the crowd goes wild. The race ends in a tie between Jeff and Kevin, so Jeff demands a rematch of some kind to prove the ultimate winner.
There's got to be a winner somehow.
Think they'll run it again?
No way. Yeah, but what do you think we should do, huh?
Another duel. Something tough this time.
Yeah, but what?
The one they call the Tunnel of Death.
Say, what, are you crazy?
Kevin accepts, but Mortimer tries to tell him how deadly the Tunnel of Death is.
Let me tell you again. The whole rear entrance to the tunnel is only a couple of yards wide. You'd never manage to get out of there at full speed, especially in the dark. It's 100 to 1 you'll crash into the wall. That's assuming you get out of there uninjured.
Meanwhile, Jeff and his gang sabotage Mortimer's Jeep. The race in the Tunnel of Death begins, and Kevin basically just wins instantly. So much for the sabotage. Jeff crashes through a wall of sheet metal, so much for this being a deadly race. Even Mortimer retracts his original statements.
Is Jeff all right?
He's not really hurt, just dazed. Now he won't brag so much.
The kids celebrate the race the only way 90 kids know how, with disco. Jeff and his goons are pissed about losing, so they take it out on poor Mortimer's Jeep. Kevin comes to help stop Jeff, and when he gets outside, it's a damn war scene.
What the fuck happened here?
My glasses.
Kevin also promptly gets his ass kicked again.
This will refresh your memory.
I'll break you in half.
He's not tough enough. Take a look at him, Kim. Tell him you're not a cop's girl. You're mine. Tell him.
Yes, Jeff, I'm your girl.
Jim explains to Kevin that Jeff's uncle is the mayor and they're one of the oldest families in town, so on the school bully scale, he's basically untouchable.
I mean, Jeff's uncle's the mayor of this town. Did you know that? He can get away with anything he wants to.
Kevin nurses his wounds with Connie. Meanwhile, a lone stranger rides into town.
Keep on going, Mr. Wayne.
Skip the cracks. My name's Bert.
The old man goes to Kevin's dad, who's a police officer in Oakland, so apparently this guy rode his horse all the way from Oregon to Oakland to hand this guy a $300 bill to fix the sheet metal on his shed that he believes his delinquent son broke. He also gives us a grave warning about terrorism.
If he does this at 20, when he reaches 25, he'll be hijacking an airplane and flying it all the way to Washington to blow up the White House.
Kevin finally confronts Billy about his previous karate ways and asks him for training, but Billy reveals his dark past and why he's turned his back on karate forever.
Why?
Do you really want to know why? It was because I killed a man with these hands, with one of those karate chops I was so damn proud of.
Kevin's dad shows up to take Kevin back home. Meanwhile, Connie asks Billy where Kevin is and explains all the trouble he's been having with Jeff. She also reveals why nobody stops Jeff.
Jeff's good at karate, so everyone does what he says.
While being driven home, Kevin and his dad stop for gas, so Kevin immediately just hitchhikes back to Oregon. Now that Billy knows Kevin needs karate to beat up a local bully and not just to kill people or something, he's totally willing to train him. He lays out all the necessary karate equipment one needs to train.
Now we're going to need these basic things. A platform, a mattress to fall on, a punching bag, a kimono, and of course a good strong rope. And you've got to go on a diet.
Okay.
We are then treated to a montage of Kevin running around, Billy sitting shirtlessly, and Jeff at the disco, thus proving how much more training Kevin is putting into this big revenge fight. The best part of the montage comes when Billy starts knocking Kevin on his ass over and over again. But thankfully the music picks up and Kevin gets serious enough to knock an old man down and prove he is imbued with the true power of karate. Kevin heads back to school and officially challenges Jeff to a fight and puts Kim on the line as the prize for some classic B-movie sexism.
What's the prize?
She is.
At the dojo, we find all the high school kids are gathered for the big fight, and even putting betting odds down on the fight like normal kids do.
Hey, Jim, what are the odds on his winning?
Oh, it's 6-1. It was 8-1.
Is that good?
Sure, it means it'll last a minute instead of 30 seconds.
Oh, man, poor Kevin.
The fight begins and Kevin promptly gets his ass totally handed to him. Kevin's dad arrives and is upset that his son is fighting, but Billy does some weird eye winks at him and gets him on board. Knowing his dad now approves of his delinquent ways, the music changes and Kevin starts kicking Jeff's ass. There's no explanation why suddenly Kevin can beat Jeff. Nothing changed. He didn't even have a secret crane kick technique or something. He just suddenly is able to make Jeff look like a chump with no change in strategy. We head back to the disco to celebrate Kevin's big win. Kevin arrives and walks over to Kim, who asks him to dance, but he blows her off and goes to dance with Connie instead because she's the nice girl who really cares about him. For no reason, the old guy appears at the disco to give Kevin back his $300.
Please tell him I'm sorry.
Well, all right.
With the bad guys humiliated, the nice girl by his side, and all his nerdy friends safely dancing at the disco, the movie thankfully decides it's time to just stop. Karate Rock is your pretty standard Karate Kid ripoff following that film's story almost to the letter. There's the new outsider kid in town, the local bully who feuds over the pretty girl, and the helpful teacher who passes on the skills of karate to solve high school problems. Where the two films diverge is in their technical ability. The acting in Karate Rock is so wooden and stiff as these kids attempt to emulate something close to normal human interactions. It's endlessly amusing that this town of supposed high school students all seem to be voiced by the same 40-year-old production assistant, and the music changes faster than these angsty kids' moods. The film narratively holds up through the beginning as the story is so simple, but the ending makes little to no sense, with things all coming together in a neat little bow for no particular reason other than the film needed a happy ending, so everything just sort of resolves itself instantly. As a film for bad movie fans, there are some dull stretches of cars driving around town or people just talking about what's going on in the plot. There's no high-octane action scenes or anything like that, and even the racing and fight scenes that we do get are mostly lifeless and dull. However, the film is cobbled together so poorly and sloppily that with a group of friends and a few cold beers, you'll have an enjoyable time with this one. That's why I'm giving Karate Rock my Badurday rating of Liquid Courage. And that's all the time we have this Badurday. If you like the review, give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more. And if you have a movie you'd like to see reviewed here, let me know about it down in the comments.
It was because I killed a man with these hands.